she's right, like it or not. So enjoy the ride, take what she's got, 'cause it's a long way to go if you wanna ride with mom. Just enjoy the ride.
Hey, this is Vash with Vash's House. I'm on my way to the DMV to get my I have to get my driver's license renewed. Thanks for running errands with me. This has always been the best time for us to have, me and my kids to have chats. And also it's just running errands is the time that I do my own processing. So it's good to have some company. What I've been thinking about lately is why sometimes it's hard for me or any of us to let somebody else experience an emotion. For example, somebody else in our presence expresses disappointment in themselves, in us, or even in another person. And it immediately makes us feel physically upset, physically sick. You immediately feel your gut clench, your heart gets tight, your shoulders. Or somebody in our presence, maybe that we love, expresses anger or frustration at their day. And we immediately go to, well, why are you like that? Or why do you feel that way? We immediately try to fix it or explain it away, or we just don't want to hear about it. And it's not because we're mean. It's because our bodies are actually responding and we feel sick. We don't want to be around what we call negative emotions. And honestly, the same thing is true with our own emotions. We don't even want to be present with our own emotions, and much less somebody else's. And so we set up a precedence in our life where we try not to have any big emotions because it makes us feel physically heavy, physically sick. And also, we don't want to be around anybody that's also having an emotion. I mean, how much work do we put into making it so that somebody is not disappointed, much less disappointed in us, or upset, or, even offended? I mean, that's been a thing lately. And we put so much energy into avoiding any of those things. And it is because it makes us literally feel physically sick, unable, to move, to cope, to process when those emotions are around us. The reason that is, I'm going to tell you why that is because we physiologically cannot carry any more emotions than we already are. Typically, when that is the case, and I know this has been true in my own life, when I don't want to hear that my husband is frustrated at work or upset with me about something or has a disappointment, it is because, as it turns out, it is because I'm actually already carrying so many of my own emotions that are been unprocessed that I physiologically do not have the capacity to carry anymore, to even look at anymore, including my own. And so that's what I want you to think about today. This is a really big deal, but most of us who have not learned through our parents generationally how to process our emotions, that it's okay to look at your emotions, feel your emotions, be present with your emotions, and then decide specifically what you're going to do with those emotions and how you're going to respond. If we've never gone through that process, our bodies are already carrying a huge backpack of emotions. And so when we're asked to carry more, whether it's just in empathy or compassion, when we're asked to carry more, we're like, I can't. I'm already weighted down. The thing is, the backpack of emotions that we're carrying is typically one, honestly, that has been handed down to you. We don't even recognize that we're carrying it, and we don't realize how heavy it is. All we know is that we just can't carry anymore. And maybe we haven't taken a moment to take the backpack off, which is a bunch of things that we think that we need. I mean, we've been told we need to survive. Like, you have to constantly feel guilty. Otherwise, you won't do anything. You have to be motivated by guilt. You have to be motivated by a sense of urgency. You have to be motivated by being a good person. And you think if you get rid of all of these things, then you're no longer going to be a good person. You're no longer going to have value in the world. You're not going to be validated. And so you carry these emotions of guilt and shame and fear of failure because this has been given to us as our survival mechanism. But let me tell you, when we allow ourselves to carry that backpack of unprocessed emotions, of letting people know how we really feel, of being true and honest with ourselves, then we don't physically, our bodies cannot carry anymore. We can only take so much. And so next time you're in a position where you think you're feeling something and you shove it down, or you ignore it, ask yourself, am I already carrying around a lot of emotions from my past, maybe trauma that has been unresolved, and I have still pain from that, wounds from that, false beliefs from that, then I need to unpack, look at, process. And this is not like an afternoon. This process actually takes years and years. But once you start the process, it slowly allows space in your body, space in your mind, space in your heart to receive other things. And you learn how to look at things, process things. So everything starts to be happening in real time instead of a huge dump of stuff that you've shoved into a room that you have to look at later. And we know how that looks like in real life. I'll take care of this later. I'll take care of this later. I'll take care of this later. And pretty soon it's a big pile. But when you start to unpack unfelt emotions, unprocessed emotions and feelings, then you learn how to do that in real life, and eventually it gets unpacked, and then you're able to do that in real time without carrying around a lot of weight, and then you're able to more in a greater capacity engage in other people's pain, show empathy. It doesn't overwhelm you, including your own. It doesn't overwhelm you, and you become a much more healthy, a much healthier person, and then you're able to live in a much more dynamic life with relationships that are rich and more trusting and more beneficial, honestly. So this is Vashti coming to you from Vashti's house. Something to think about. Let me know what you think in the comments, and have a great day and make yourself at home.